Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke, and I hope all of you are having a really wonderful day today, my dear friends. It's lovely to see you. Continuing with my discussion of the films of the Criterion collection, if you don't mind, I'd like very much to talk to you about this fascinating film from the filmmaker Samuel Fuller. This is Spine number 18. The Naked Kiss. In 1964, The Naked Kiss, directed by the great Samuel Fuller. Not just directed, written, produced, and directed by the great Samuel Fuller. It is taut, it is quite tight, it is tightly constructed, 90 minutes, so it goes by so quickly. And if you haven't seen it, please do so. You are in for quite a treat indeed. Very quickly, for those of you who may be interested, this is the Blu-ray from the Criterion collection. And it has a really lovely picture quality and sound quality as per usual, but it also has some nice features here. So, for example, it has a video interview with the great Constance Towers, and it has excerpts from a 1983 episode of The South Bank Show dedicated to director Samuel Fuller. Then it has an interview with Fuller from a 1967 episode of the French television series Cinéastes de notre temps. Then there is an interview with Fuller from a 1987 episode of the French television series Cinéma. And there is an original theatrical trailer. Then there is the booklet with some very nice essays right here. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Lovely artwork as always from Criterion, but this artwork in particular is quite eye-catching. As I say, this is an unforgettable work. It is a firecracker. It is dynamite. It is something that is so off the wall, unexpected, and it's both fun and treacherous at the same time. So, my dear friends, if you have not seen this film, please stop this video right now, because I'm going to be talking about details regarding this film, and I do not want to spoil it for you. Once you have finished watching the film, you can come back to this video anytime. It'll still be here, and on that occasion, I would love to talk to you about this film, this incredibly entertaining film, The Naked Kiss. Okay, my friends, you're still here, which means you don't mind being spoiled, or you've already seen the film and you know the gist of what happens. My goodness, what do you think, huh? Isn't this a remarkably bonkers film? I love this film so much for a number of reasons, but let's go into just some details as to why. So first off, this film is amazing in many ways because it's this B film schlock. It's this melodrama. It's a soap opera. It's so corny and cheesy as a soap opera because it's got those cheesy, cliched elements that are just piled one on top of the other. You've got the prostitute with a heart of gold who turns over a new leaf. And how does she do so? She goes into orthopedics, and then she becomes the star nurse in the children's hospital, and she even goes into musical numbers with the sick and crippled children. And then you've got the small town Americana, this rural small American town with the children playing on the sidewalk, and then you've got all these women in trouble, and you've got Kelly, played by the beautiful and just amazing Constance Towers. You've got all these troubled women, women with issues in their lives, and you have Kelly just able to save all of them. It's just unbelievable how corny this film is, and it's just set up in a way. And you've got the wonderful rich playboy Grant, and he's eligible. He's the most eligible bachelor in America, and everyone is fawning over him, wanting to get with him. But of course, it's Kelly, the beautiful Kelly, the new girl on the block, so to speak, who comes in and who catches his eye, and therein lies the essence of the romance element. And you've got the tension, right? We've got the wonderful, upstanding, rich playboy Grant, and you've got the prostitute who has turned over a new leaf, but who has a shady, dark past. And what will happen when Grant, the playboy, finally discovers the dark past of Kelly? So therein lies the tension of the film. So you listen to this general plot synopsis, and you think, this doesn't sound like a great, or the makings of a great film, American classic, right? What gives? It just sounds like maybe an entertaining, cheesy B-movie at best, right? Aha! No. This is the genius of Samuel Fuller, is it not? Because this is all a means of basically playing with our expectations as viewers. We are watching this one just cheesy, cliched element pile on one after the other in a way that's almost like the saccharine, syrupy, sugar-filled confectioner's delight. And it's becoming so top-heavy the more you get into the film. Just throw in a musical number. You have all these children singing with the close-ups on their faces, their beautiful faces with pathos, and the, oh gosh, everything. Everything is about to topple over, right? And you realize the film cannot sustain this momentum. It's got to collapse under its own weight, right? Something's got to give. Something must be up, okay? So there comes a point, therefore, where the rug is pulled out from under us, right? And we realize the true dark secret with respect to the narrative, and with respect to this character of Grant. And he is a very, very kind of terrible guy. It's an amazing moment, though, because it's not just that the rug is pulled out from under our feet. No, it's like the floor has been destroyed and demolished. All the bricks have been blown up, and we're just falling through space. Maybe not just that. It's the house has crumbled, or the world has exploded, and we as viewers are left just afloat and adrift in a sea of confusion and nothingness. And that's all to do with the genius of Samuel Fuller, right? He gave us this B-movie schlock, right, on purpose. And I saw it for the first time, and I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. It was perfect. I played right into Samuel Fuller's hands, because I thought I was ahead of the game. I thought, oh, this is just a corny film, and there's just going to be this weird sort of twist. Maybe it wouldn't be that great of a twist. But when the twist came, and we figured out what Grant's true nature is, I was my head exploded, I think. And I realized that I was completely ill-equipped to deal with the mastery of Samuel Fuller here, because he set up this whole film only to destroy it himself. And then the remainder of the film is basically him trying to pick up the pieces with Kelly and the resolution with respect to her character. Will she go away for the murder of Grant, or will she go scot-free? And if so, how will she escape? So all these things come together in a lovely way that is just meant to be destroyed. And Samuel Fuller is the one who has the sledgehammer, and he's the one who's just doing all of the destruction of his own plot. And I admire him so much for this artistic bravery, this cinematic genius. And I think it would have seemed to me to be an act of cinematic nihilism, an act of meaningless artistic anarchy. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It is ultimately a sign of true artistic sincerity, right? He sets up this whole plot, this quite intricate plot, with these great characters whose names are so wonderfully, right? Griff, Candy, Grant, Mac. I love it. I love this world. And he just sets it up only to just destroy it, right? And then to try to put Kelly, the main character, in as much dire straits as possible, right? But Samuel Fuller isn't doing it to be nasty. No, he's doing it because I think he wants to show us, the viewer, the strength and fortitude of this lovely main character, who is Kelly, played by Constance Towers. And that is the lovely part of this film, right? It is not a cynical film. It is a sincere film. And you can tell because the strength of conviction and the beauty of the performance of Constance Towers as Kelly really drives this point home, that she is a truly good character, right? Granted, she starts out as this kind of, well, come on, a prostitute with a heart of gold? Come on, really? Right. Kind of think that way. At least I did when I first saw it. But no, her charm and her earnestness and her willingness to help others, I think it works. It really works. And you're on her side from the very beginning. And speaking of beginnings, my goodness, right? Those first few minutes of this film before the credits roll, aren't they amazing? You've got the wonderful, right? Immediately you go straight into her trying to just attack the pimp, and then suddenly her wig falls off. And you've got that iconic image of Kelly, right? The bald-headed Kelly, and trying to get the money that is owed to her. And then she goes to the mirror, which is the screen, and then she's fixing her wig on top of her head. And as she's doing so, the credits begin to roll. Sublime, absolutely sublime. One of the great openings of a film ever. If I do say so myself. And that is a stunner of an opening, but it's a stunner of an opening, not just because of its visual shock value, but also because you're amazed, or at least I am, just what a sincerely good person Kelly is, who is at the heart of this really shocking scene. And then you follow her, and you realize that her past is always, there's always the risk of her past catching up with her, and that's because of the jealousy of Griff and the sexual tension that exists in the town after she's beginning to develop romantic feelings for Grant and all that. So this is all to say that this chaos and whimsy and the top-heavy nature of the narrative that is about to topple over in a spectacularly catastrophic way, it, I think, ultimately is centered by the truly good-natured performance of Constance Towers as Kelly. And I think without that, I think the film wouldn't be as effective as it is. So you've got these wonderful elements that are balanced perfectly by Samuel Fuller. And he does so in a way that I think gives us, the viewers, just the sheer delight of enjoying the performance of Constance Towers as Kelly, who has to be one of the great cinematic heroes of 1960s American independent cinema. Forget that, of 1960s cinema, or of American cinema in general. My goodness, the way she enters the scene and the way she exits too, right, on her terms, right? She could have stayed in the town, but she decides, she has to leave and she has to move on. And right, all the people in the town are so grateful to her, and they all see her off, and it's such a wonderful moment. But then, as the camera goes up, we see her walking alone with her suitcase, walking down the street. An iconic image, topped only by the even more iconic image of her with her wig off at the very beginning. And those bookend a story arc of Constance Towers' Kelly that is corny and cliched and saccharine and sugary sweet and syrupy and unbelievably soap opera-ish, and I loved every single moment of it. I love this film so much. The naked kiss. And I should say also, Samuel Fuller is a genius for many reasons, but it's amazing, right? To think of all the kind of wild stuff that happens, right, with the candy girls and the bonbons and and all that stuff, and all the over-the-top operatic gestures that are taking place in this film, right? And that build-up leads to, right, the climax, which is undeniably the moment where Kelly discovers Grant, who is about to molest a little girl. It's a terrible moment, absolutely frightening, horrible moment, and a horrible reveal of Grant's character, who is truly disturbed. But what does Samuel Fuller do here? Does he give us a real over-the-top stylized reveal? No, none of that. There is no gratuitous moment here. It is all done basically in close-up, simple edits, reaction shots, and it's steered masterfully by the reaction shot, the close-up on Constance Towers' face as she looks into the room, and she is, the feeling of elation and happiness is sapped from her face. And we see not desperation, not sadness, but anger and ire. And then we go from there to close-ups of the little girl and Grant. And we hear that song, the children's song being played. Masterful in its restraint. And it's a sign of true filmmaking genius. Samuel Fuller did something there which is remarkable. That was the moment where his entire narrative topples. That's the moment where everything explodes. But does he do it in a way that is over the top, visual flourish and flair? No. He does it in a way that is restrained, that is professional, that is done simplistically, and very easy to understand. And yet it is presenting something that is horrible and that is really the lowest of the low. Man, the way that he depicts this kind of evil is so masterful, and it is a remarkable indication of the artistry that is Samuel Fuller, the filmmaker. true genius, and that is just a wonderful moment. I think any lesser filmmaker would have succumbed to the temptation of going too much overboard with that moment, but Samuel Fuller was so right to restrain himself, and he did it in a way that showed his true genius. The Naked Kiss is a work of a true genius, and it is a work of genius. All right, let me end there, and let me ask you if you have any questions or comments. Have you seen this film, The Naked Kiss? If so, do you like the film? Do you not like the film? I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. And from there, hopefully, maybe you and I can have a nice discussion about this film, this very, very memorable film called The Naked Kiss. Okay, my friends, let me leave you, and next time I would like to talk to you about spine number 19, which is Shock Corridor, which is also a film by Samuel Fuller. Until then, my friends, I hope you are happy and healthy and well, and that you continue to watch a lot of great movies. Until we meet again, my dear friends, please be well, and cheers.